I don't ever realize when my hat does this, but I was gonna make this post a story post, but I'm gonna make it a Instagram post, just a reel, and whoever watches it, this is meant for you guys. I've been watching my tarot readings, so whoever's watching this, it's meant for you. I'm very lit right now. It's my birthday, but overall, what I want to say in this message is that when it comes to your subconscious and your conscious, there's no separation of self. Now, what does that actually mean? Let me explain it in a way that we can actually understand what that means. So, your subconscious is the idea of you that exists when you're not thinking. So, the idea of you walking when you walk and you're not thinking about it, that idea is your subconscious. The idea of you blinking when you don't have to blink, that is your subconscious. The idea of you breathing when you don't think about breathing, that is your subconscious. That idea in itself is your subconscious. And your subconscious is not separated from your consciousness. Understand, it's like when we see a computer, we don't think, yes, because the computer is computing on the web as well as computing on this editing software, it is doing things outside of the computer. We don't think that it's not the computer, It's like when we browse the web and we edit certain things, we don't think, yes. These are two separate things, just in general. It's like, these aren't the same thing. It's like, that's how we deem the subconscious and the consciousness. We deem our subconscious and consciousness as two different things, two whole different ideologies, when in actuality, it's a very false thing, bruh. It's like, that doesn't hold up in all actuality because, hey, it's running off the same computing software that is our brain. Not even just our brain, but our soul. So what does this mean, Raw? It means that your subconscious and your conscious are the same thing. They're running off the same program. So the things you act in subconsciously are the things you're doing consciously. It's the same computing, meaning the things that subconsciously overwhelm you are the same things that are overwhelming you consciously. It's like, it's the same things that are driving up the excess use in this computer that is our brain, our minds, our vessels. There's an excess of background noise, and it's an excess of non-clarity within that when we don't think these are the same system. It's like, sometimes you may sit there and think, dude, my computer works in a whole different world when I'm playing video games versus when I'm watching YouTube. Why can I only watch YouTube in certain qualities, but I can sit here and play the video game on this? Random example. Oh, sorry, kitty cat. Random example. But with that example, it's like, what do we think we compute? Because we compute more than we can even imagine. And if we can compute more than we can even imagine, and this is where people get into ADHD and that term of, I will say, quote, term of mental illness, because I don't think ADHD is a mental illness. I feel like ADHD is a superpower niggas just don't know how to use. It's like ADHD, like, people who know how to use it are just superhuman. But the people who don't know how to use it are labeled as ADHD. They have ADHD. But the people who know how to use that type of ability to go from subject to subject and subject, like, to me, that doesn't sound like a failure. That doesn't sound like something that gets in the way. And the idea that it gets in the way is a limiting factor within how far you can expand. You're telling me you expanding gets in the way of you expanding? That means you just won't expand. Even if society says you expanding gets in the way of you expanding, that just say fuck society. Realistically, it's like fuck society. Fuck what that shit means, because what does that shit mean? At the end of the day, you have yourself, and yourself is a beautiful thing. That essence of yourself is a very beautiful thing. And the essence of your subconscious and conscious together, because it's all one system. It's all the same system. It's your soul system, dude. It's like, it's always been your soul system. And if it's your soul system, why would you not trust your subconscious the way you trust your conscious? You know, that's like trusting your computer to edit photos, but not trusting your computer to surf the web. Oh, I don't trust my computer to be able to browse through Google, but I trust my computer to edit this super extreme hardware. And then you think about the symbology behind that, because what is surfing the web? Well, that's relaxing. Surfing in itself is letting go. That's letting the ocean do its thing, and you're following the flow of the ocean. You're following the flow of the water. Of course, there's skill that goes into it, but when it comes to creating the actual motion of the event, the entire motion is created by the water, you know? And so the entire motion is created by the internet. And if the entire motion is created by the internet, it's like, let go, gang. Let go. Relax. It's okay. It's okay. Let go. We're gonna surf now. We're gonna surf now. And that same surfing ability is the same ability you think about when you think about, oh, I gotta go to my 9-to-5 job. I gotta go to this job I have. This job, it's like, the job is the same analogy as the photo editing software on a computer. That's your job. That's your job. Surfing the internet is your leisure, and is your surfing. That's your surfing. That's your leisure. And going on your photo editing is your job. And if that's your job, it's like, you think that doing your job takes less computing power than doing your leisure, when we know from the simple fact of, dude, surfing the web energetically is way easier than fucking doing your job on the web. But when you take that identity to real life, you see how many people are going about their real life and grabbing what they think is their leisure. What they think is their leisure. You know, they'll sit there and be like, not even just what they think is their leisure, but their leisure will be more costly. Like, surfing the web is more costly than quite literally photo editing. But when you know computers, you understand that, hey, photo editing takes way more computing than it does to surf the web. But our mindset is the power behind that. When you understand that your perspective is the mind behind that. Because I can say it in as many languages and as many words as I can, but the message will only come across when you perceive it differently. Like, and the perception here is understanding that when I see my work, that takes just as much energy as my leisure. Not even just as much energy. When I see my work takes more energy than my leisure. It takes more energy than my leisure. So within my leisure, why should I be upset that I'm leisuring? I'm saving energy. If I was to be a fucking bum and resourceful, leisuring means savoring energy. That means I'm saving my energy. That doesn't mean I'm fucking going out of my way to use it. Action is what uses energy. You don't use your energy when you're in non-action. You know, yes, your device makes certain Like when it comes to your vessel, when it comes to the energy you can create in reality. Yes, that may charge to a certain frequency, you know? There's a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of threshold you can hold by yourself within that. But hey, that doesn't mean you have to consistently run off of that, you know? It's like there's so much more expansion here. And we think, yes, me relaxing, me putting my computer on sleep mode, me putting my computer on YouTube, me putting my computer on Instagram, me putting my computer on whatever the fuck you deem as leisure, and whatever the fuck actually runs less processing. It's like we deem that to cost more than actually the things that cost more in our lives. It's like our labor costs more from our lives than it